How do you feel about women competing in sports events who were once men, meaning they transitioned over?
Megan Rapinoe. Now that she's made all of her millions, she has a little message for the rest of us, and that is we're not allowed to say anything she doesn't approve of when it comes to trans athletes. She says to Time Magazine that in particular she's got a problem with Dave Chappelle, Martina Navratilova, and Sage Steele. She goes on and says that what's happening here is women's sports is being, quote, weaponized. Show me all the trans people who are nefariously taking advantage of being trans in sports. It's just not happening. Okay, really? Megan Rapinoe, stand by. All right, I'll start with the obvious. Leah Thomas, the North Carolina volleyball player who seriously injured another high school girl in playing opposite her. Austin Killups in cycling. Rachel McKinnon in cycling. Here's some other trans cyclists. Tara Saplavi, Leslie Mumford, Tiffany Thomas, Molly Cameron, Emily Bridges in running, Terry Miller, and Andrea Yearwood. Right. Athena Ryan, the weightlifter, Laurel Hubbard. We could keep going. We could go all day long. Do your homework.
Now, I think Megyn Kelly's going a little too extreme with this. She's not understanding. You have to fight crazy with crazy. You got to think more like this gentleman.
I'm okay with trans women competing in women's sporting events, as long as I'm allowed to bet. Yes. I would like to put all my money on the lady with the size 11 sneaker, please. I've got a feeling about her.
Think about this for a second. Brittany Grenier is giving a press conference and she's interrupted.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This just in, Shaquille O'Neal now identifies as Shaniqua O'Neal.
Have you left that? You see these sideburns? He got them from me. He showed me with these sideburns. He was trying to hit on me, but I wouldn't give him.
Yes, you know that big 7'1" NBA star who dominated the paint.
You see it best.
He now identifies as a female and he's coming to the WNBA, and he's going to be surrounded with ex-NBA players who now transitioned over and they're coming to the WNBA. Guess what? People would probably actually watch the WNBA because nobody watches the WNBA. But sometimes you got to fight crazy with crazy. Think about the money and the revenue that you would raise. How many people would join these gambling sites, these sports betting sites? Just think about it for a second. Let's just think about if Shaquille O'Neal transitioned over and was Shaniqua O'Neal and wanted to play in the WNBA. Now, here's what happens. You have a lot of feminists who fought for this. They wanted equality. They wanted, equal leagues and equal pay and all this stuff. But now you got what you wanted. You wanted to be equal. Now you got equal. But the problem is you didn't see what was coming down the road. You see, sometimes you have to fight crazy with crazy. When people are crazy and they don't see that the WNBA is not as popular as the NBA because it hasn't been around as long, because the players aren't as good, because it's not dynamic, okay? You got to understand that these people are not logical. They just want what they want because they see NBA players getting these huge contracts, but they don't see how long it took for the NBA to get there. So if people want to be crazy and transition over and go play in the WNBA, now people can't get mad. Let's be honest. Straight men are not watching high school female events because they're not watching professional events with females. They're not watching female track and field. I mean, some creeps probably are, but the majority of the men don't even know when WNBA games are going on. They don't know when high school games are going on unless your daughters are playing in it. And you don't watch college events a lot of times if it's just females. Like I said, except for the creeps. But a lot of straight men, they'll watch the NFL with men. They'll watch the NBA. They'll watch soccer. They'll watch NASCAR. They'll watch those events because That's what a lot of straight men do. What's happening in society is they're trying to confuse people. They're trying to say right is wrong and wrong is right. And a lot of times you just got to answer them with other crazy. When people come at you with crazy, sometimes you can't be logical with them because crazy people don't understand logic. You just got to be like, oh, word, the WNBA, okay. Oh, Shaquille O'Neal's now Shaniqua O'Neal. I'll watch that. You know how many men would tune into that? You know how many men would tune in if Charles Barkley transitioned over to a female? You know how many people would tune into that if Dennis Rodman Well, Dennis Rodman's halfway there anyway. But can you imagine how many people would tune into that? So I wouldn't even get mad over these things. Don't let these things bother you. You got to look at the positive outlook of it and just think about, we're not far from a all transition NBA team that transitions over to a WNBA team. You got to have fun with this. Put some money on it. I have an idea Shaniqua O'Neal's team is going to win. This is the No Regret Show. Think about subscribing. Get it.